parenting, emotions, kids, feelings, growing, learning, wisdom. Let's jump into all of it on the Raising Emotionally Intelligent Humans podcast. Welcome back to another episode of the Raising Emotionally Intelligent Humans podcast. I'm Heidi Lindeman. I'm a therapist. I'm a single mom by choice. I'm a lover of emotional intelligence and making feelings be something that are known, talked about, processed, used, and experienced in our lives. I am looking forward to this one. This is a fun little one that might be a little bit different than some of the other ones. Today I want to talk about a moment of unexpected calm. Something that I really actually didn't think was possible. And I honestly have zero idea of how it happened. But it is also a lovely story. And something that I think might just give you a little boost of enjoyment, a little calm maybe, some awe maybe. Maybe it might even help you think through your life with your kids to see if you can find a moment of unexpected calm so that you can cherish that too. Okay, so I have two children, a almost 5-year-old and a almost 2.5-year-old now. This story takes place when I had a 2.5-year-old and a newborn, 3-4 days old newborn, brand new baby. So just a slight backstory. I'll tell the whole birth story on another episode. But my baby, she had decided that she was going to come at exactly 37 weeks. And nobody expected that. My entire birth team was not in town. My birth doula had to go be with her family for some kind of family emergency just for the weekend. And she was going to be back 4 days, 3 or 4 days after my baby was born. So we didn't think that it was going to be a big deal because nobody thought I was going to go into labor on the 37 weeks exactly. We thought we had a few more weeks. My mom, who was meant to be my main birth supporter, the person who was going to be with me through the whole process, like once my labor started, I would give her a call. She'd get over to my house. She would help me get to the hospital and all of that jazz. She'd be that person for me. Since I'm a single mom, I didn't have a partner to be that person for me. And, well, she was on a cruise. Also didn't think that the baby was going to come then. And she was going to be back about 6 days after the baby was born. So we all thought we were good. And, well, she had other plans, that little one. So she came at the 37th week, exactly. 37 weeks exactly. I went into labor the day before at 36 weeks, 6 days, and then labored through the night, and she was born on the next day. And then because I gave birth in a hospital, and because I was a single mom by choice, they let me stay there a little bit longer. So I stayed in the hospital, I think, for 2 or 3 nights, because I didn't have, when I was going to be going home, there wasn't going to be a whole lot of support there because my birth team was still away. And the plan was for my mom to be there for the first couple of weeks or however long I needed her. So when I got home, I had a friend who had to come pick me up because also I didn't have anyone to take me home. I didn't have my car because a different friend had driven me to the hospital when I was in labor. And the friends were watching my older kiddo while I was in labor. And I am so grateful that I have those friends in that little village who were so grateful and willing to step in and help take care of my older kiddo so that I could be fully present in giving birth and in those first couple of days with the little one, with the newborn. And I love that I trust my friends so much and knew that my older one was safe and loved and cared for and had all of her needs met. They're just amazing people. Okay, so here's where the story really starts. We come home. I come home. My friend comes and picks me up, drops me off at the house. My older kiddo, who was with the neighbors, then comes home. And I do the whole thing by myself. I get my older one dinner. I get her to bed. I'm, of course, taking care of the newborn, feeding her when she needs to be fed, changing her diaper, doing the whole 9 yards, all of it. As soon as my older one goes to bed, the baby and I go to bed. You better believe I'm sleeping as much as I can. And it was lovely that I was able to sleep so well with this one because that was different from my first one. So I had a pretty good night's sleep. Of course, I was still woken up. I still had to wake up and I had to feed her and change her diaper and get her back to bed and do that process several times throughout the night because, newborns, they eat every couple of hours. And then in the morning, it's so sweet. I hear these little pitter-patter feet. My older kiddo, running to my room. And she grabs onto the bassinet and she peers over, her face just barely her being able to see over it. Her eyes go over it. Her nose is like right at the bar of where the bassinet is. She looks at the baby holding on and she says, "I touch." The first thing she said in the morning. She didn't even say, "Hi, Mom." She didn't say, "Good morning." I mean, obviously she's 2.5, so like, what is she going to say? But she says, "I touch." Very, very excited. I'm like, "Yeah, you could touch her." The baby was awake. And I pick the baby up and I help my older one hold her and touch her and bond with her little sister. And it was just so sweet to see how in awe my older one was of this new little baby. How much she was curious about her, wanted to know about her, asked if she could touch her. And we did the whole thing by ourselves. I got up, nursed the baby, I got breakfast for the older one. And I just felt so much joy and peace and love. It was amazing. I was sitting and watching my 2.5-year-old eating her breakfast, as she always does. But I felt different. I felt this calmness. Like my heart had just swelled and expanded so much. And how in love I was with my 2.5-year-old. And how big she was. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe how big she was. I had seen her a couple days ago. She did come visit us at the hospital. And just astounded at how big she was. And I'm pretty sure that was because I also had a newborn. I had this 7-pound baby who I was taking care of. So of course my 2.5-year-old felt huge. Even though she's still so small. And it was just so fun to see her excitement and her joy and her just happiness. And that we got to spend that time together. And it was amazing. And she went to daycare that day. My friends took her in. Our friends, our neighbors. They go to the same daycare. So I still had help in certain ways. And I spent the whole day with the baby by myself, taking care of her, doing everything I needed. My parents came that night. So I had to spend a whole night and then that whole day. And then they got there in the evening at some point by myself. And I actually loved that day. It was amazing. And I did not expect that. I expected it to be really, really hard to manage 2 kids, a newborn, a 2.5-year-old, and myself. Because I expected that I would actually feel really bad. Because after my first pregnancy, after my first birth, it was much harder. And I don't know why I felt so good, but I did. I felt great. I felt grounded. I felt calm. I felt capable. I felt love and joy and just in awe of the little baby that decided she wanted to come at 37 weeks instead of waiting for a few more weeks. I really was hoping she was going to wait so that she would have been born after the 20th of September and been a Libra instead of a Virgo, but nope, she's a Virgo. But she's perfect. It's just as she is. And I adore her. And I adore my 2.5-year-old at this moment and their bond that they have. And I am really grateful that we have that moment. I couldn't have created it, couldn't have planned it or made it happen. It was unexpected, 100% unexpected, and 100% grateful that it happened. At least for that one day, there was this newness, this awe, this amazement at having a new baby in our family. That my toddler, that she was feeling that too, that she was expressing that looking at her, I touch. She was just enamored with this little being, with this little baby. And I loved it. Loved every moment of that. And I'm grateful that I had that. And I'd encourage you to think if there was a moment that felt calm, peaceful, fun, awe-inspiring, joy-inspiring in your life as a mom. And maybe it's not as big of a moment as that. Maybe it's a moment of, maybe it's a small moment where you're like, we sat on the steps outside before dinner and we noticed something and we laughed together. And I felt my heart swell in love for my child. I mean, just seeing if you can think of something, any moment, and as you think of it, see if you can really feel. Can you remember what that felt like? Can you, as you think about it, can you relive it and feel that sense of calm, of joy, of awe? I know as I tell this story, I feel it deeply. And that's the sweetness of life, that we get to have those moments. Because not all the moments are like that. And actually, I wouldn't have known that moment was that sweet without some of the other hard moments. Because a lot of the moments are actually hard. It's actually hard to be a parent to a toddler and a newborn. It was not all easy. And I'm really grateful that I had an experience where I was able to have that calm foundation, that they have that in their bodies, that they get to remember that. And that throughout their lives, the last almost 2.5 years, we've had many more moments similar to that, not exactly like that, but some moments of calm. And we've had some other moments of anger, as you've heard, for sure, and some other moments of anxiety, sadness, we have all the feelings. And really for me, that is the point of life, that all feelings, all parts of us are welcome, that I actually want to feel it all. I want to feel that awe, that joy, that love. And I also want to feel the sadness and the grief and the sorrow and the anger and the fear, because it all tells me something. It all is part of being human. And those feelings and those parts of me are really important. So here's just a little note of unexpected calm. And I hope you too can remember and find a moment of unexpected calm for yourself too. And if this stirs anything in you, I would love to hear what your unexpected moment of calm was. Feel free to leave a rating if you really enjoyed this. Send me an email if you want to. Reach out to me on YouTube. Whatever works for you. Connect. I want to hear those moments. What are your moments of unexpected calm? Yeah, send that to me. Send me that moment. I would love to hear it. Thank you for being here, for listening, for being engaged. and for being the mom and the parent that you are, and for loving your kids the way that you do. You're doing a great job, Mama. Until next time. So as we end today, Mama, may you know that you are part of a community. You are creating a better world for yourself and for our children. And I invite you right now, Mama, just to take a deep breath. Take a deep breath in and out. One more time, in and out. Know that as you breathe in and out, you are not alone. We all breathe the same air, and we are connected. And here's the credits. The Raising Emotionally Intelligent Humans podcast was produced and created by me, Heidi Lindeman. New at podcasting, new at hosting, new at producing, doing it all and figuring it out as I go along. So thank you for joining me. And if you enjoyed this episode, please like, please subscribe, please leave a comment. That's what helps the podcast grow, reach more people, so that we can really create the community that we are wanting for our children and for ourselves. Let's keep creating emotional intelligence in this world, doing it one moment at a time, one step at a time, one feeling at a time. Mama, we've got this together.